sound of the oja, the traditional Igbo flute, and okeke drum echoing through the air, the festival created a peaceful and reflective atmosphere. It reminded guests of the deep values rooted in Igbo culture, where music, moonlight stories, and tradition are deeply connected. One of the key aims of the festival is to promote cultural awareness and identity, especially among the young generation. Organizers say the event is relevant now more than ever as modern influences continue to push many indigenous languages and traditions to the background. The festival encourages Igbo people across the globe to embrace their roots, speak their language, and carry forward the values of truth, peace, unity, and communal living. Names like Ndoka, Ndubisi, and Ndodi reflect the Igbo view of life as sacred. The event revisited a key moment in Achebe's novel, where Okonkwo accidentally killed a clansman and exiled, showing how Igbo culture handles justice and morality. The award-winning author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was among the special guests.
In Igbo culture, nothing is more sacred than life. In Igbo culture, a sibling must never take the life of another sibling. That is what we mean when we call a child Ndoka, Ndubisi, Ndode. The preservation of life is sacrosanct. Things Fall Apart demonstrates the central Igbo belief in the sacredness of life. Okonkwo accidentally murders a member of his community. It is truly an accident. His gun goes off during a feast, and yet his community punishes him severely. His home is destroyed and burnt, and he's banished for years. And this was an accident. Now imagine the severity of the punishment for murder in Igbo culture. Igbo culture abhors the taking of innocent life. We must remember that we are a great people. We have to remember that we are people who make remarkable sacrifices to live their dreams wherever they find themselves. We are people who have mastered the art of surviving the most unaccustomed parts of the earth. Let us not forget the wonderful, unique apprenticeship system that we have, Mwa Boy. Often we forget the Mwa Girl, where young women learn things like sewing from women, and the wonderful and unique rituals and expectations that those involve. Ndibo, let us remember who we really are. We cannot become untethered from the harness of our proud and beautiful history and heritage. Igbo must once again mean what it truly means. Not selfishness, but community. Not violence, but a fierce desire to succeed through hard work, diligence, honesty, truth-telling. Where is the gatekeeping role of the community over every member? Something that has been central in Igbo culture for centuries. Every success needs validation from the cultural milieu that birthed it. We hear success stories, but in most cases, we see only the success, but not the story. What is the story behind the successes that we celebrate today? Okonkwo's greatness in Umuofia was not possible without Umuofia's collective say-so. Ndibo must unite and strive to become a beacon for Nigeria, and indeed for Africa.
Adichie describes Chinua Achebe as a writer who deeply loved his people and used stories to preserve Igbo identity. She also encouraged young writers in the audience to keep working on their crafts despite setbacks. Chinwendu Ifeonwankwo, Aneke TV.